All right, thank you for tuning in to MCH's regional interviews. Our goal of these is to be able to interview different people from across the state to really highlight the need for our advocacy to end homelessness. Our special guest today is Jordan, who's the executive director of the Red Lake Shelter, and he has already done tons across the state and in his community. But we hope to just ask him a few questions today, and we're going to dive right in. The first question for you, Jordan, is what do you think the need is, or is there a need, especially in your community, for the need for more shelter beds?
Yes, there is a great need for more emergency shelter beds. Currently, right now, our current shelter has 18 beds. I'm currently developing a new emergency shelter that is going to be adding 12 more beds, but due to COVID, I can only operate at half capacity to practice proper social distancing to ensure the safety of my staff and the clients that are receiving the services. In 2018, Red Lake Homeless Shelter did 417 of the Wilder Reservation Community Services homeless survey, and that actually was able to identify that there are more than 800 people that are homeless on the reservation. And I imagine in 2021 when we do that again, that's just gonna, add more, numbers to it. So obviously there's just not enough emergency shelter beds. I get calls daily, and I'm actually in my whole hotel project right now that is providing 14 congregate hotel emergency shelter beds. And it's just that the need is out there. I mean, we actually have over 40 people on the waiting list for this project. There's actually calls every day. I'm, running at full capacity, and I'm just waiting to get the new emergency shelter going.
So with that said, you've done great work getting more beds, responding to the need, especially with COVID. I think you've set a lot of examples people across the state could pay attention to. But in addition to the shelter beds, what else is needed? Is there needed more, operating costs, different services like that?
Absolutely, and due to COVID, I know there's been more funding opportunities out there in order to actually pay for the operating costs, certain things like that. There's just a need for more resources out there, rental assistance resources, different hotel vouchers, different programming, because every community is different, and there are different needs for different populations in the area. Obviously, one of them in our area is to provide more resources for homeless single individuals, because there are a lot of different rental assistance programs for families. So you got to be able to identify, that need and the barriers that that population is facing, and learn how to develop a program and to provide those essential services that people need.
Right. So I think, considering all the work that's going on in Red Lake, I just, the final question we have for you, what would you tell advocates across Minnesota, whether it's, a staff person, an advocate, community member, somebody that's been homeless before, what would you encourage advocates across Minnesota to do?
Well, just to kind of work with, programs like yours, National Coalition for the Homeless, because, we actually have to advocate for these people that need these services. And, our legislators are not going to know the need unless, we actually have people advocating, for the, those funding sources and everything like that, so we can actually develop the programming needed,
Right. Well, you've set a good example of how to do that. So I want to thank you again for your tireless work, your, statewide advocacy, your local advocacy. And for everybody out there watching, hopefully something Jordan said was able to really strike a nerve with you and inspires you to go out there and advocate even more than what you are, and advocate, for, like Jordan was saying, for more resources for shelters, for more shelter beds. So thank you, Jordan. Thank you for letting us interview you.
Thank you, Matt. Anytime, and that's why we need more people like me out there doing this frontline work, because it it impacts so many people positively.
It does. Thank you again.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.